So recently in class, we've been talking about melody and how melody is a sequence of pitches, one after another, played in a rhythmic pattern, and how melody is different than harmony, whereas harmony is about notes kind of being played at the same time on top of each other. Melody is single notes one after another. And we've worked some on improvising to create some bass lines that are melodic. But the question does come up, how does melody and harmony work together? And that is really important. But before you know a lot about music theory and how those things happen, I'm going to show you another way you can create melodies and bass lines that will work with some harmonic progressions. So first of all, when you get to the assignment, you click on the link and go to the assignment in Earsketch. Make sure that you change the name to put your last name in there and your first name, or at least your first initial, before you start the assignment. Now first, I'm going to solo this middle track, and actually let me go ahead, I'm going to label this the harmony track. So here's the harmony, a chord progression that I came up with that I kind of liked. What we're going to do is we're going to create a bass line and a melodic line from the notes in that chord. So first, let's go to the bass line. And if you'll click on the region, or double click on the region, it should bring up this box at the bottom. And then you want to click on piano roll. So if you look at the piano roll, and I'm going to solo this track, what I've done is I'm taken the harmony, but I've chopped it up into eighth notes that sound like this. So that doesn't really sound like anything that anyone would want to listen to. But what we're going to do is sort of like carve a bass line out of this harmony. And this is what I mean. So over here on the right, in the piano roll, you notice you've got a couple different buttons. I'm going to click on this trash can, which basically is going to turn my cursor into an eraser. And harmony, again, is notes that are played in combination. For something to be melodic, it should be one note at a time. So what I'm going to do is for each column of 3 notes, I'm going to delete at least 2 of those notes so there's only 1 note left. And I could delete an entire column. Okay, so now there's a lot less, but it's 1 note at a time. So now this is melodic. Now as I go to the next bar, I'm going to try to keep the same pattern that I used over here. And you can do something different, and I would encourage you to do something different. But basically if you come up with a melodic idea that you like in the first bar, you can use that same pattern for the other bars that come after it. So what I'm doing is I'm repeating the low note twice, and then I jump up to, oops, I didn't want to do that. So let me undo. So the 2 low notes, get back to my eraser. And then I jump up to the top note, and then I jump back down to the low note. And I'm just following this process. And so now I'm going to listen to what I've got. I think that works. Now, the only thing I'm going to change is I'm going to switch over here to my pointer, and I want to make this last note sustain a little longer. So I'm just going to click on the right edge of the note, and let me listen now. Now, if I go back and put this with the harmony, because I've used the notes of the harmony to create my melodic bass line, it should sound pretty good together. Let's listen. Cool, I think that works. Now, I'm going to come up to my melody track, and I'm going to click on that region, and again, make sure I go to the piano roll, and you can listen to this first. And again, that doesn't sound very pleasant, but let's transform this into a melody, something that's melodic. So I started my bass on the low note, so I think I'm going to start my melody on the higher note. Let's see. And again, I'm going to sort of use the same pattern of intervals. You don't necessarily have to do this, but a lot of times you'll get a pretty good result from using this. So I just continue the process. Actually, let me undo that. Now, one of the things I'm going to do different with the melody is when I get to this last measure, instead of using that same sort of melodic and rhythmic idea again, I'm going to change it up. So let's see. And I'm just experimenting to see what I come up with and how I like it. All right, let's give this a listen. So again, I'm going to switch over to my pointer and make these longer. And let me listen again. Cool, I like that. So let me add the harmony to it. We'll listen to that together. That works. And now let's add the bass and listen to all that together. And I think, just to add one last thing, let's get some drums to go with this. Let's see. Yeah, we'll try that one. See how this sounds together. And so that's how you can take a chord progression and use that to create a harmony and a bass. One of the last things I want to point out before I finish this up is notice if I go to the harmony, double click to pull up the piano roll, I have all my harmony notes here around C3. A little bit lower, but C3. If I go to the bass, I have my bass notes all down here around C1. And then if I go to the melody, I have all my melody notes up here around C5. And generally, that's how you want to have all of your melody and your harmony and your bass. Is if you think about a piano keyboard, you want to kind of give each one of those voices its own space on the keyboard to play in. So if you put it all kind of in the same range, it's going to sound kind of weird. So let's put this down. Because again, this is just data, so I'm just clicking and moving it. So that's going to put that the same as the melody. And now if I take my bass and move it. So if I put it all in the same range, it's going to sound like this. I'm going to take the drums out just so it's a little easier to hear. I mean, it's all there. You can still hear it, but it just sort of blends together. So let me undo that. So this is the original. I'll put the drums, again, I'll keep the drums out. So now you hear the melody and the harmony and the bass in 3 different areas. And so it kind of just gives each one of those tracks its own kind of space and its own kind of personality without kind of blending them all together. So in any case, I hope you enjoy this assignment, and I look forward to hearing what you come up with. And remember, with Soundtrap assignments, as long as you use the link that was in the assignment, you don't have to submit anything in Google Classroom. You don't have to copy a link. It should already be shared back with me. So again, have fun.